Despite predictions that last night's debate was going to be boring because it was going to focus on the issues rather than recreating an episode from Here Comes Honey Boo Boo, it was actually a massive historic success, in fact breaking records for viewership for a Democratic debate. It brought in 15.3 million viewers, making it the most watched Democratic primary debate in history. The previous record for a Democratic debate Politico was in 2008, which had 10.7 million viewers on ABC. So we're seeing a gigantic jump up from that in just 7 years there.
So there's a couple of things going on. Clearly, the Republican debates have juiced people's interest because they got a reality show on that side. And I admit, everybody freely admits, it's a little bit more interesting because they're so rabid, so crazy, saying one over-the-top thing after another. And you have what is arguably the largest reality show contestant in history on the Republican side. Said contestants is tough. Reality star. So is Donald Trump a larger reality star than Kim Kardashian? I don't know. It's close, right? He's been on for about, I don't know, like 13 years or so with Apprentice. So at least one of the largest reality stars in American history. It's like Hulk Hogan is running on the other side.
Yeah.
But, you know, probably more entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah, Hulk Hogan not as racist.
Yeah, it's unfortunately a tight contest.
Yeah.
So some of that I think is spilling over to the Democratic side. But there was this sense of like, hey, the Republicans are interesting. Democrats, oh, they're so boring with their policy, blah, 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 substance, right?
Yeah.
And Bernie Sanders, that's not interesting. He's going to just always, that guy never answers personal questions, right? That happens in interviews.
Yeah.
They ask him about his hair. He's like, so as I was saying about Social Security. Right? But as it turned out, no. Apparently people are interested by Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. And there was a block of granite on the stage as well. That was, that was pretty entertaining.
I can't really attribute the rise in ratings to Lincoln Chafee, I got to be honest.
No.
Or Jim Webb.
No scandals on last night's program. Not a single scandal. Yeah, I think that's certainly a point. I mean, the thing is about Trump and the greater ratings as a result of it, like, yeah, okay, so the Republican debate got more viewers, something like 23 or 24. The second one actually got fewer than the first, which they don't talk about. He lost viewers. For some reason, that doesn't hurt him. Got more than the Democratic debate, but okay, so episodes of Walking Dead get more. Yeah, they're more exciting. They also have nothing to do with government or choosing the next. They have about as much to do as the Republican debate does. It's just a bunch of nonsense. And by the way, people also forget that there's a huge difference between the Democratic primary and the Republican primary. In the Republican primary, they're trying to get back into power, which is inherently more interesting and perhaps on some level more consequential to a Republican voter than the Democrats trying to hold on to power. That doesn't bring in people as passionately as taking over the White House after having lost it.
But overall, understand this is actually really great news because it means a lot of people are paying attention to this election. The Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton was supposed to be super exciting. That got 10 million views. This got 15 million views, right? And to give you a sense of this, this was the 6th most watched non-sports cable event in history.
Yeah.
That's a lot of words. Let me clarify. Okay, put aside sports. Outside of that, this was the 6th most watched thing ever on cable.
Yeah.
That's pretty gigantic, right?
And again, less than the Republicans. Those two.
So those three are in the top 6 of all time, and they're political debates.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and look, CNN's live stream of the debate set a record for the network with 980,000 concurrent streams at its peak. So that's a lot. That's almost as much as like the World Championship for League of Legends. Like that's a lot of viewers on a stream.
Yeah,
which is certainly good for them.
And that's almost as much as the video views we get for the live debate. No, not really. No, ours are much higher. But no, to be
not
fair,
our live stream.
To be fair, no, their live stream was a lot higher. But that's because they had the debate.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And look, I think that this is certainly a good sign for the Democrats that people are paying this much attention, despite the fact that you don't have the ridiculous theatrics. I think it's probably a good sign for the country that people paid this much attention. Unfortunately, as we're going to talk about a little bit later on, some in the press are drawing, I think, the wrong lessons from the debate. And I worry that they're going to then put that out there and they're going to fool people into thinking that something happened last night that did not actually happen. But this is certainly a good thing, especially because it was a time of actually talking about and identifying the real problems that this country faces. And there were some big disagreements about how to face them. but there were actual possible solutions being discussed, something that there was very little of in both of the Republican debates to this point.
And at least 15 million people got to see it with their own eyes.
Yeah.
And also remember, this is just a primary debate. We're not even in the general election, and it's on cable, usually on ABC, CBS, NBC, they get even bigger ratings, right? So on cable, for the first Democratic primary debate filled with substance to get this many viewers is fantastic news.